Well, hey guys, this is Spiffy Guy, and I'm back with another episode of Food, and this time we are dehydrating vegetables for use in making backpacking, dehydrated meals, and you could use them in soups or, just to store your garden things. Today, I'm using frozen vegetables because one, they were available, and two, they were on sale for $1. So I got two bags of peas. Or actually, sorry, 1 bag of peas, 2 bags of carrots, and 1 bag of green beans. Now you could buy the 3 vegetable one with corn, carrots, and beans, and it comes with lima beans. Apparently you're not supposed to dehydrate lima beans, or they're hard to use. I don't know. Anyway, so what we got set up here is I'm using the Nesco Professional. This is a 700 watt dehydrator, and so far it's worked pretty good for me. It came with 5 trays and 2 of the sauce trays for messy things like spaghetti sauce, or you could do tomatoes on this and still drip a lot too. It also came with 2 of the mesh trays, mesh inserts, which I'm using on the peas here. I don't know if you can see that or not. Keeps the things from falling through the little grates. So essentially we're just going to dehydrate this 125 degrees for about 6 to 8 hours, and we'll see how it comes out. So I figured I'd just take you along on my little dehydrating journey. So stick around, we'll see what it looks like. Alright, so one thing I forgot to mention was that you can get additional trays for this. I forget how many you can stack high with the dehydrator, but they're available if you need more trays. So when you're using the frozen vegetables, just make sure to thaw them out, so they take about an hour to thaw out. They're pretty pliable, and you want to lay them all out in a nice kind of single line. This is probably a little bit too compacted together, but it is what it is. That's the trays that I had, and these carrots are going to shrink when they dehydrate, so I can move them around a little bit. And then the peas here, they, I use the mesh trays as I mentioned, and they're just a nice thin layer. You don't want them too thick. And so if you're doing fresh vegetables, they some of the things I read online, they recommended that you cook them, you steam them for about 8 minutes. Apparently it makes them rehydrate a little bit better. So depending upon the vegetable that you're doing, do a little research on that. Alright, so here we are a couple days later, and I have finished up all my dehydrating. I've done the peas and the carrots and the beans. Those were frozen. I went ahead and did 2 bunches of green onions, 1 regular onion, and also a small thing of cherry tomatoes. I'll show you, I'll bring the camera in and give you a little bit closer look as to how they came out. The big thing was these clean screens, I think is what Nesco calls them. You can buy these. I actually picked up another set because the peas and things like that, if they weren't on this screen, they would fall through the little grid pattern on the dehydrating tray, so the carrots would kind of fall down into the peas and things like that. So these were really important. Another trick was to make sure that when you're laying this stuff out, the stuff around the edge seems to dehydrate faster than the stuff in the middle. So if you could arrange the things, like if you're doing cherry tomatoes or onions and things like that, and you're not doing a full, like 5 tray thing, that maybe you could spread it out over a couple trays and just kind of use the outer section. They may increase your drying time. I did everything at 125 degrees, and once again my dehydrator is the Nesco Professional. So let me bring you in a little bit closer, and I'll show you what everything looks like once once it was dehydrated. Alright, so here's all the veggies. The beans came out pretty good. They took a while to dehydrate. They're a little bit thicker. These were just regular cut frozen beans, so perhaps you could do them a little smaller if you were making your own beans. The onion, I did the onions. Oops. I did the onions here, and I did my best to cut these as small as possible. They took a little while because some of the pieces were a little larger and they were kind of pliable. The green onions dried up real quick. I think maybe 4 hours at the most. One trick for these would be maybe slice the whole green onion down the center to open it up a little bit, because sometimes I don't know if you can see that here, but like the little inside part, the little circles wouldn't come apart and be be nice and loose like this, and it would take a little bit longer to dehydrate. These were cherry tomatoes. a little yellow variety of sweet cherry tomatoes. I cut these into as thin slices as I could and just stuck them on there flat. These were a little juicy. They took a while to do. I've read that you can quarter the cherry tomatoes, but it does take a little longer, and you need to make sure that that middle part really does get dehydrated. I felt the slices would be a little bit easier for what I was looking for. This is 2 bags of carrots actually into 1 bag here. The carrots really shrunk up quite a bit, and some of the thicker cut ones were a little pliable, so it took a little bit longer to dehydrate. But they came out pretty decent. And then this is 1 bag of peas right here. The peas went pretty quick, honestly. They shrunk quite a bit, and a lot of them fell through the grates, which was kind of frustrating. But once again, the clean screens, the little mesh screens that you can put in there, I think would help out a lot. All right, so that's pretty much it. Dehydrating vegetables, really, really simple. These were some frozen ones. I did some fresh ones. So it's a simple process, and I think that these will really boost some of the soups like ramen, and if you're using couscous, things like that. Just add a tiny bit more water to rehydrate these. I don't know what the water to food ratio would be to rehydrate these. I plan to put them in once again into soups and things like that, so I'm not really too worried about it. You'll have to experiment on your own. The Dehydrator, though, is a very, very cool tool. I've made beef jerky with it, and maybe I'll do a video on that another time. But I highly recommend it because they sell the just veggies, just the dehydrated peas or carrots and things like that in the grocery store, and they're like $6-7, for 1 tiny little bag. And I mean, this is 1 bag of peas that cost $1 and a little bit of time. So I think it's a cost-effective means of getting some veggies out in the field, which is a problem in some of the dehydrated meals. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them below, or you can leave them on the Facebook page at facebook.com/SpiffyGuyAdventures. And until the next video, keep on dehydrating. I'll catch you later.
These are peas, carrots, green onions, chili tomatoes, onions, beans.
What's your favorite?